Hi everyone, if you're new here, welcome to my channel, and if not, then welcome back to another one of my videos. It's felt like absolute ages since I said that last, but I'm so glad to finally be sitting down and filming again. If you didn't catch any of my updates, unfortunately I've been away because of a wrist injury. It stemmed from a previous injury years and years ago, and then it flared up back in November. You guys might remember I was wearing a brace, and after that it just became much worse, and it went more into the muscle versus the bone. So I was diagnosed with bilateral tendinitis, and I could not go on my computer, my phone. I could barely even read a Kindle book or a physical book, and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I lost a lot of joy in my life, and it's been really hard, but I've been getting back to it in the last few weeks. I'm doing more stuff on the computer, and I'm using my phone more, I'm reading more, so it's good. My wrists are not healed by any means. It's gonna be like kind of a lifelong thing, I think, but thankfully my wrists are better enough that I can get back to booktube and everything with that I love doing. So I'm so glad to be back. I missed you guys so much. I did enjoy a few weeks of just like relaxation and rest and kind of vacation at home, but after that I was just so restless. I wanted to get back to everything. I was so done with it, but thankfully now I can get back to some things. It's definitely going to be a slow process. It's my first video in 5 weeks, I think, and you guys will have to wait a little bit longer for regular uploads, but I want to get back to that. So my uploads are going to be a little less frequent, especially because my wrist still does get sore, so less frequent, but regardless, above everything else, I'm just so glad to be back and to be filming again. I did read a bunch of books over the time that I was gone, and so we're going to talk about those today. I was like, what am I going to do for my first video back? And I just kind of thought that I should do a wrap up of all of the good books that I've read since I think the end of April. Maybe it was the middle of April actually, because I think my last video was my April TBR. That's crazy. But anyway, I did read some good ones since then. I also read a ton of shit books. Like, unfortunately, they were so mediocre, and I don't know if that was me or the books, but whatever. I'm not going to be talking about the DNF'd ones or the ones that I rated like really bad. I mean, if you want to see them, you can go on my Goodreads, but they're just not really memorable. I don't care to talk about them, and we're going over like 40 books already. So let's dive in. Thank you so much for your patience. Life was lifing. I'm back and I'm super excited to be uploading again. I think that's all I wanted to do for an update. I can't remember anything else right now, so yeah, if I have some editing mistakes in here, please bear with me. What I'm going to be doing is talking a lot and editing less, so we'll see how it goes. I'm going to have to catch my breath here and there, but yeah, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your support as always. We're going to get into the 30-ish something books that I read from middle of April to the beginning of June. So I did a March wrap up, but I didn't get to do an April wrap up. So these ones are going to be starting in April. After I did a reading vlog for Forbidden and Taboo Romances, I was on holiday. I was visiting family, and I just wanted something fun from like an author that I knew, that I just wanted to, I knew it would be easy and I knew I would like it. So I read Black Rose, which is book 2 in the Dracula duet by Karina, Halle. I wasn't expecting it to be super good because the last book I didn't love as much. I think I rated it 3.75, and it ended off kind of on a negative note for me, and so I was really anticipating this one, and I was like, it's gonna be a toss-up. I'm gonna love it or it's gonna ruin my vacation, and it definitely did not ruin my vacation. I had so much fun. A book could not do that for me, but you know, it just like, it wouldn't bring the vibes that I wanted it to bring. So thankfully it did bring the vibes. We ended off the last book in this duet with a lot happening. Let's just say like that. Without spoilers, it's just a lot happening. So this follows Dracula and the love of his life, who he's loved through many lives. And it's a kind of forbidden age gap. Like if you classify hundreds of years between you kind of age gap, it's an age gap. And it's a mythical kind of retelling of the Dracula story. So I was like super hyped for it, right? I did not love how the last one ended. I felt like there were some things that happened that like didn't need to happen. It was kind of overdone, a lot of drama. Something happened and I'm just like, we're literally starting from zero again in the second book of the duet. I don't like that. So picking up this one, I was like, okay, so I remember that this happened, The part that I didn't like in the last one obviously had a lot of effect on the second book, but it didn't actually turn out that bad. Like, I think the way Karina Halle wrote this one, it was a lot better than I was picturing it in my head. I thought she was gonna do something totally different, but she actually balanced it really well, so that was my favorite thing in it. I just loved being with the characters again. Like, sure, maybe it was a little long, a little disinteresting, but I just loved being with the characters, and that was just the vibe for me. So I think I rated it 4 stars and then like 3.75 on the spice scale. Overall, it was a great duet, and in that world of these mythical Gothic retellings that have a little bit of fantasy in them, I just love this edition. I thought it was great, and it was one of my favorite books that I read while I was away. So after that, I finished off some series that I had started during my reading vlog. So the Heartstone series is the one I read first. That's by Saffron A. Kent, and I've been on a like Saffron A. Kent little kick recently. So this one was called Dreams of 18, and it's about two characters from her book before, which is called Medicine Man, and I think it's Violet and Graham. In Medicine Man, you see them as like a non-happily ever after, but in this one you get to see them before they like have a breakdown and then after, and I actually loved it. It was okay, I can't say it's like sweet. I hate using that word as a descriptor because it just doesn't match when you're reading a dark romance. This one was a little bit more contemporary, but still, like, it doesn't match. So this one is a best friend's dad, obviously forbidden, obviously age gap romance, and there's just so much that goes on in it, like a bit of drama that breaks them apart and then they come back together, and the way that it dealt with like their relationship, all their past, everything, and a huge aspect of mental health, I thought was really great. Like, it was very balanced to me. The smut was literal perfection because you got like an older lumberjack kind of guy and then like a younger kind of like Daisy would wear dresses kind of girl, and I'm like, yeah, I like that. I fucked with that combo so much. It was so great to me. And overall in this series, I really liked it. I thought it was a great addition. And I rated it like 4 stars. Maybe a 4.25, but I feel like it was just a solid 4, and then like 3.75 on the spice scale. Then the next one I read in that series was California Dreaming. And this one is a kind of semi-novella at the end that's a bit of a wrap-up and a bit of a continuation from a story that was started in book 1. It follows the it follows one child from the couple in book 1. One is like kind of adopted. I don't even know if they had really adopted him. That was unclear because this book was so fucking short. It was literally like 160 pages, and it was supposed to be a love story about these two characters, but it also had point of views from every single character in the series. And I'm like, what? How am I supposed to focus on their love, which was super quick, no slow burn, no nothing, no like basically nothing, and then feel completed not only from that series but by the rest of the characters? It left me wanting, and that's all I can say for this. Like, I just felt like it was so underwhelming. I was really let down, and I fucking wanted a book for two characters named something. I don't know, if you read this series, you know instantly which characters I mean. They have such good chemistry, such good tension, they hate each other, but they're destined for each other, and I wanted them instead of the people that we got. And we only got them for like 50 pages, and then the other characters for the other 100-something pages. So I just felt really underwhelmed and really let down by this. As a novella for those two characters that I guess people shipped, yeah, I'd rate it like 3 stars. As a book that I read that kind of wrapped up the series and was a novella, like below 3 stars. I hate to say it, but I did rate it 3 stars, and then I didn't even care to rate it on the spice scale because I wouldn't recommend it, unfortunately. Then I read Fractured Souls by Neva Altaj, and this is her 6th book in the Mafia series that she's writing. I'm not sure if this is the last one because, like, y'all, that's a bit of a long series for me. This one is also a bit of an age gap. Tortured heroine, mafia light romance with a very like grumpy, grouchy, kind of emotionally unavailable hero, sorry. And I just felt like it was repetitive. I've read every book in the series by her, and it just felt like she took the best parts from each of those and smashed it into one, and it should have been good, but I just felt like I'd seen it before, I had read it before, especially from her in that series with other characters, and it didn't feel like something new, exciting, and fresh. And other than that, I also didn't really like the two characters, and so I didn't feel their chemistry, so I didn't really believe they were in love. I kind of just thought it was like, what do you call that? It's like emotional attachment to somebody because they helped you and they like saved you, kind of. In this case, he really did save her, but like I just thought it was emotional attachment, which is kind of sad because it had the possibility to be so much more, and it wasn't. But anyway, I rated this one at 3.75. Looking back, probably should have done it as a 3.5. Then I had a DNF. But we're not talking about that because who gives a fuck? Anyway, I finished the Off Balance series by Lucia Franco. I think that was one of my biggest accomplishments that I didn't tell you guys about yet. Like, I finished a fucking series, but I also finished the Off Balance series. And I know y'all wanted me to read it. I know it's super loved. I know it's hyped up, everything like that. So I read it, the first one, in my vlog. I liked it. I enjoyed it. You can go watch that one. It's a few videos back on my channel. But then I finished the series in the ending of April, I think. Overall, I just don't know why the series is so fucking long. Why did it need to be 5 books? Plus an extra book from Kova? Like, to me, I just didn't think that it was necessary to be 5 books. If it was 3, I think I would have loved it so much more. Yes, I understand how, like, it's ups and downs of a relationship, and I guess a lot of people aren't really invested in Kova and Rhea, so they wanted that. Personally, I just didn't. I gave a fuck about them, but not the biggest fuck, you know? Like, to a certain extent. I liked book 1. Book 2, I was like, okay, it's a little bit, but it's getting a bit boring. Book 3, did I skip book 3? I might have skipped book 3. Someone told me I didn't need to read book 3, so I was like, you don't need to tell me twice. I am out of here. And then I think I skimmed it actually. And then I skimmed book 4, and then I read book 5. I do feel like the ending was unsatisfactory. I don't know what happened with that, but I just did not feel satisfied. But as an overall series, it was good. It was alright. I would rate it probably 3.75, 4 stars. I would recommend it, especially if you like a good age gap, forbidden, even taboo romance. I would recommend it, but I'm unfortunately not jumping on the Kova and Rhea hype train anytime soon, but it was solid. I'll give it that. Then I read Boneyard Ties by Emma Jones. It was her newest release, and I buddy read it with a friend, Kiana. We had so much fun reading that one, but unfortunately, we both didn't like it. Emma Jones' take on reverse harem, that was good. Sure, I actually like that. I knew she would kind of do it well. I feel like she's already done it in her, like, threesome scenes, so I knew she would do it well. She did. With this book and the, like, plot of it, oh my god, and I hate to say this because I'm a huge Emma Jones fan, but unfortunately all of her newest releases have been getting more and more chaotic to me, and I cannot keep up with them. This one, I didn't understand a single fucking thing that was going on. It was like Elite Kings Club, but way more chaotic. I didn't understand it. It was so many unnecessary things, and it's just like a literal mindfuck, and I didn't enjoy it. Sometimes a nice little mindfuck is good, but this one was like a big old mindfuck, and I didn't like that. So unfortunately, I rated this one, I think 3.5, and then like 3 something on the spice scale. I might read the second one, I'm not too sure, but yeah, I was so looking forward to it because it's a gothic romance. It's got some age gap. There's a rock star hero in it, guys, and they're all like ruthless, cold, heartless, a bit of secret society type shit, small town, gothic, might have some like creepy shit, but it just let me down so much. So I don't know if I'm reading the second one. I don't even know when the second one's coming, but you know, it'll be what it'll be. Maybe I'll read it. I'll definitely vlog it if I do though. Then I read The Brit by Jodi Ellen Malpass, and to be honest with you, I don't remember anything about this book. Like actually I don't. I think it was something cartel, something she falls in love with him because he kidnapped her, but it also says The Brit, so it wouldn't make sense, would it? Let's see. Oh, actually, okay, here we go. I got it. Single mom, kind of like escort mom, mob boss guy who's kind of in the mafia, and he's really cold, really heartless, kills people on the spot. And that's kind of it. That's all I remember. I do remember the plot a little bit. It was interesting. But yeah, it was chaotic, and I just didn't fully feel everything, so I rated it 4 stars actually, and then 3.5 on the spice scale. I would probably recommend it, but I can't really tell you much about it because it's not extremely memorable. Okay, and then I read The Italian by T.L. Swan. I did read some T.L. Swan in here, guys. I know you're probably gonna be really proud of me for this. So here's the much anticipated update, or not really update, but like review on this. The Italian, someone told me I needed to read The Italian before I read Ferrera. And I really wanted to read Ferrera, so I was like, you know what, okay, I understand that you probably need to do that. I read The Italian first, and y'all, why was that shit so insanely chaotic? Actually, no, chaotic isn't even the word. It was just like random. It is a second chance romance, and the first bit I really liked. I was like, ooh, fun vacation romance, but then it was like, boom, mafia, boom, second chance, boom, every fucking thing. And yeah, I didn't really like that. I don't know, yeah. I guess that's all I can really say about this. I didn't really like it. Unfortunately, I just don't think I like T.L. Swan's writing, which is sad to say, but I just find the sex scenes are a little bit like, I don't know how to describe it, like they're a little raunchy. I don't know. And I fuck with that sometimes, but also there's gotta be some sort of like lyrical element to the way it's written to make me like be able to romanticize it, and that one I just, yeah. It was just a little too raunchy for me, which is like so interesting. I can't explain what I'm trying to say. So anyway, it was a little bit like too overdone for me, I guess. And unfortunately I didn't like the characters, so I didn't really give a fuck about the romance, but I did read Ferrera after I read The Italian. The Italian I rated like 3.75 stars, by the way. It was okay. But The Italian, I was like, I went into it thinking like, girl, you gotta be lying right now, because they start off the book, actually I think that was a spoiler, I'm gonna cut that part out, but they start off the book with a big revelation that's like a little icky, you know? And yeah, so I bared with it. I was like, okay, this is gonna be a nice forbidden love story. I like the way these guys fuck with each other. I just felt like their chemistry from the last book, and I was like, I did say I was gonna read this, whatever, let's go. Unfortunately, I still didn't like it. I thought the dude was a bit of a dick. Like, I don't normally use the word pussy to describe a guy's behavior, because I think it's a little like because I think it's used in the wrong context sometimes, but he was a pussy to me. And I'm so sorry to say it, but yeah, I just didn't like these heroes, so I couldn't really do it. The book itself was also super chaotic and like super filled with drama. So it was entertaining, but I still rated this one 3.5, I think, versus the 3.75 of the last one. I don't think I'm going to continue in the series. And I might even go as far to say as I might not read T.L. Swan. And that's totally fine. That's just a personal opinion. I obviously know she's loved by many, so yeah, I'm glad I did read it though. Next, I got an arc of Broken Dove by C. Lamari. This is book 2 in her Dance of the Dead series. Book 1 is Swan Song. Y'all know me. I fucking love that book. This one was also kind of like a secret society romance following a ballerina and like a traveling circus. So you know, it had that Gothic vibe. It had that shit so well. And this one is more of like a guardian ward situation as well, actually, but less than the last one. Less than the last one, I'll say that. The heroine in this one, her name is Summer. She is blind and she's a ballerina, and she is one of the strongest heroines you will fucking meet. The way that she was like subtle and like chill, but also like knew her shit, I was like, yeah, you go girl. So I love that. The hero Luke, he was like a good balance of a hero to me. Like, he wasn't too cocky, too arrogant that he wasn't like attractive, but he was just like had enough of it. And the way that he cared for Summer and the way he dealt with so many situations involving her and like everything that happens in this book, I was like, yes, I quite like that. It was fun and it was really enjoyable. I love the vibes. I love to be back in this world. Was it as good as Swan Song? No, it was not. Was I expecting it to be as good? Yeah, but there's just some things in there that left me like questioning stuff. It left me a little bit like confused, and it didn't have the full vibes that Swan Song had. So for that, I'm giving it a 4 stars and a probably 3.75, 3.5 on the spice scale. It was a lot less steamy than I was thinking it was going to be, which is kind of sad. I wanted that steam a little bit because they had such good chemistry. Then I read Shallow River by H.D. Carlton. This is the favorite book. This is my favorite book, sorry, that I read while I was away. This was fucking it, y'all. I genuinely don't know why it took me so long to read my last H.D. Carlton book. I'm a huge fan of H.D. Carlton. I've read all of her books now. I can say that now. But this one was the one I didn't read, mainly because I think this was supposed to have been like a year ago or something, maybe even longer ago. But Naima from Naima's Reads read this, and she, in her review, kind of like scared me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was expecting things when I went into this, and I mean, I was accurate to expect that because there's a lot of like toxicity and violence, like domestic violence in here, and toxic relationships, toxic boyfriends, like it's crazy. But I thought it was from the hero. Guys, no. This man is such a like kind of like a blue collar hero, but like he backs that shit up. Like, he's still sexy, he's still hot, he's still got it, even though he's like working his normal cop job. And I'm like, yeah, that was so good because, like, you know, heroes tend to be like mafia lords, almighty businessmen, CEOs, billionaires, you know? This man was like low-key, down-to-earth, had a super hot fucking name. I think his name was Mako or something like that. And he was just like working a detective job. He had like a bit of generational wealth. He had some money. He had like a normal-ass life though. And I was just like, wow. I didn't know I could find it that hot in romance. Like, obviously in real life, like, that's more realistic, but in romances, like, I don't know, he popped his shit is all I'm trying to say. The heroine in this one, she loses her marbles. Let's just say that. Sometimes, and specifically in the end of the book, she kind of goes off the rails a little bit, and the way that he pulls her back is like, oh. So this one is forbidden romance. A bit of an age gap, but it's boyfriend's older brother. We don't fuck with the boyfriend, let's just say that, okay? The couple in the end is the couple that I shipped. Yeah, fuck that dude. And what else did I want to say about this? It was just such a wild ride. Sure, some of it was a little bit like over the top, but the way that they acted around each other, I was just like, yeah. And the slow burn and the forced proximity of like that being your boyfriend's older brother, like, hell yeah. It was so good. Anyway, I really fucking enjoyed that. 4.5, 4.75. My favorite book that I've read in a while. Then I read Hell House by Dakota Wilde. I put this on my TBR because I had a nice cover. it wasn't very good. It was a paranormal fantasy romance, and I didn't know that. It also followed 7 fucking people. 7 guys, actually, and 2 girls. So, like, 9 fucking people, and we had point of views from maybe 5 of them. But I was like, whoa, what is going on? I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I skimmed most of this. I don't care to read book 2. It does end on a cliffhanger. My dumbass didn't see that it was a series, because it doesn't look like a series. But anyway, yeah, I just didn't really care. It was so chaotic because there were so many characters, and I think that's just because I wasn't expecting it to be more fantasy. Like, it had more fantasy than I thought it would, and so I wasn't prepared for, like, a bunch of shit to happen, but it did. So I gave it, like, 3.5 stars. It was good, but I'm not reading the second one, and let's leave it at that. Then I read Loathing You by Amina Khan, and this is a sapphic romance, guys. It's giving Tristic's Venom, but just, like, a bit different. They go to school together. One's like slightly homophobic, but she's also in the closet. She just doesn't know it. The other one's out, proud, and like kind of got that like dirty motorcycle girl vibe, you know, like, oh, she drives a motorcycle too, I'm pretty sure in my head she does. Anyway, and then the other one is kind of like a straight A's, like good girl student. So like, yeah, the combo, I was living for it. It's forced proximity. They go to school together. It's a high school romance. One of them is rich. The other one is kind of broke, but one of them is happier than the other. One of them's in the closet. One of them's not. The sex in this was top tier. The jealousy in this, top tier. Yeah, highly recommend this book if you're looking for sapphic romance. One thing that I am doing this June is sapphic romance recommendations. I tried to do it last June. I just didn't have enough books, and I was planning on doing it or like later, because I mean, you don't have to wait until June to celebrate Pride Month. And then it was spooky season, and then it was the holidays, and then I was just like, okay, out the window. But I want to do it soon. Sure, it's June, it's a great time to do it, it's Pride Month, but I also want to do it just because like my stockpile of recommendations is like so long and so good, but that's one of the top ones I want to do. So anyway, this is gonna be on there. 5 out of 5 for a sapphic romance. For an actual like overall romance, 4.5. Then I read Shallow by Cora Kenburn. This was great. The heroine in this one was an utter fucking bitch, and I was here for it. Okay, it's, yeah, like good guy, bad girl, like rude as fuck girl, who's like the anti-hero in this one. She's, I guess, anti-heroine, and oh my god, I fucked with that. She is rich, a celebrity, does drugs, and is like involved in that lifestyle. He's down to earth, ex-con because of her, and like just a chill dude who's got a lot of baggage and a lot of anger for her. And then she's forced to like go to his community center, and they're forced to be together. There's a lot of drama in here that I did feel like was slightly unnecessary. I would have preferred a little bit more personal development, but it was good. And that hate sex, oh, it was unmatched, y'all. So I rated this one, I think 4.5, maybe 4.25. And then I read Broken Like You by Luna Pierce. I also couldn't tell you much about this, so let's see. I remember that it feels like what I think After would feel like if I had read After. So you all know the After I'm talking about. Obviously, I've only ever watched the movies. I have not read the books, but this felt very After to me. It was good girl, bad boy, so yes, it like always feels like After when it's kind of like that. Like that's the blueprint to me, but it also was just really mediocre. Less emotion, less toxicity than After. And my review says, I thought the hero was kind of weird in a weird way. Like, you know, you have those like gamer nerdy boys. Like, and you know the one I'm thinking of is from fucking The Losers Duet by Harley LaRue. Lucas, that's his name. Oh my god, he is like the hot nerdy guy for me. And he's weird, but in a good way, you know? Like, not weird with the negative connotation that it comes with, but weird like he's unique and he was so fucking sexy. But this guy in this book, because we're gonna get back to the topic I was on, was just weird in a weird way. I think I did read the whole book though. I rated it 3 stars, and I said it was mediocre, but like below mediocre. I think I DNF'd Brutal Obsession by S. Massery. I wanted to tell you guys that because like it's a popular one. I want to say I read it, but it was not good to me. I did not like it, and I hated the hero so fucking much, and to be honest, I don't remember much about this book. Okay, no I do. It's like a college romance, and the guy's an asshole, and he's a hockey player. Yeah, I didn't give a fuck. Distance by Luna Mason was just also super boring, super mediocre, and it's a boxing romance, and it's like good girl, bad boy, and it felt like a mafia one, and it's like jealous ex, so a lot of jealousy in there, but yeah, it just felt mediocre, and I couldn't feel the connection, so I didn't fuck with the full thing. Contempt by A. Zavarelli. That was a unique one. I will say that. I got this one from Nikki in Bookland. I saw her post on her story, and I'm like, she posted the tropes, I think, and I'm like, yo, that sounds good. So I looked it up and I read it, but I don't think the amnesia trope is for me, because this is an amnesia hero who's done fucking everything. Why was he in a motorcycle club, and he was in the military, and he was a rock star that was famous? I'm like, far-fetched. far fucking fetched. It was a little too much, a little too chaotic, a little too many tropes in there that did not align. Anyway, the smut was good. I will say that. It was like hate sex kind of, and that was good. It wasn't really hate sex though. I don't know. It was like, there's a lot of emotions in there. I'll say that. It was second chance, and it was just confusing. I don't know. I rated it a low 4 stars. Maybe like a 3.75, but I read it. Then I read Until I Get You by Claire Contreras. I actually really fucked with this one. This is another, I think, college or high school romance, hockey romance, and I really fucked with it. There were obviously a few things that I didn't fully like because I only rated it 4 stars, but it was like a high 4 stars, but still not like over 4.5, you know? Whatever I just said. It was completely boy obsessed, and I loved that. Man was crazy for this girl, and I really liked that. I loved how she was like really low key. Like, she is the kind of heroine I think I would be friends with. I fucked with her. I really like this book. So I rated it, yeah, high 4 stars. I definitely recommend it. And you know what, guys? I'm actually going to leave off the wrap up there because I started the St. Mary's Rebels series by Saffron A. Kent, and I'm 3 books in. So I have a lot to say on it, but I'm going to save that for my June wrap up because, you know, it's a series. We'll keep it in June. I can't believe it's fucking June. I cannot believe it's June. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Once again, I had so much fun filming this video. I will be back with more videos. We're going to have maybe a TBR, but definitely some recommendation videos, and then a wrap up. So I'm hoping to do uploads once every 7 days. We're gonna stick to once a week because yeah, I still gotta take it slow on editing. That's gonna be my hardest part, but thank you guys so much for your patience. So glad to be back. I hope you guys have all read some amazing books recently. Let me know your favorites down in the comments. If you have opinions, thoughts on any of the books that I read, please let me know. So yeah, thanks, and I'll see you guys in my next video that will be slightly soon, but maybe not very soon.